I stand frozen in my mother's garage, a black trash bag trembling in my hands. Inside lies everything I brought this morning. The crystal bottle of Chanel number 5, her signature scent since I was a child, pink roses from Pike Place Market arranged just the way she likes them, and a red envelope sealed with tomorrow's promises, all pristine, untouched, discarded. The roses haven't even begun to wilt. Just hours ago, I'd walked into Le Parfumerie downtown, letting the bell chime announce my entrance. The saleswoman recognized me from my previous visits. "The usual for your mother, Miss Whitaker?" My fingers had traced the gold-embossed bottle. She mentioned running low last month. Such a careful lie, Mom hadn't mentioned anything to me in months. But I'd noticed the empty spot on her vanity during Easter brunch, filed it away like I did all the little details that might help me bridge the growing distance between us. Now the bottle sits at the bottom of the trash bag, pristine in its white and gold box. The price tag still clings to the bottom, $168. More than I should spend, probably. But what's money when you're trying to buy your way back into your mother's heart? Hours of preparation dissolved in seconds. I'd spent the morning rehearsing responses to potential awkward moments, determined to navigate brunch with grace. "How's work?" I'd smile and mention the promotion without sounding boastful. "Still single?" A light laugh, redirect to Tessa's college plans. But nothing had prepared me for arriving at a table where everyone but me had embossed place cards. Cream-colored cardstock with golden calligraphy, Mom's special occasion stationery. Mark, Denise, Tessa, even Uncle Phil and Aunt Caroline. But no Marin. "Oh, Marin's actually here," Tessa had announced, her voice carrying across the restaurant. "I thought you only showed up when you needed a tax write-off." Mom's laugh tingled like ice and crystal. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Mark shifted in his seat, redirecting the conversation whenever I tried to speak. "So, Phil, how's the new boat?" I became a ghost at my own mother's table. Transparent. Unseeable. Now I understand why. The bathroom excuse came easily enough. Just need to freshen up. No one looked up as I left the table. I passed the garage on my way, noticed the door slightly ajar. A glimpse of black trash bags shouldn't have caught my attention. Shouldn't have pulled me in like gravity. But here I am. The red envelope sits in my hand, still sealed. My handwriting flows across the front. "To Mom, with love." Inside, nestled between cardstock and sentiment, rests $900 in crisp bills. A contribution toward Tessa's summer tuition, because that's what older sisters do, what daughters do, what ATMs do. My throat burns. A single tear threatens to fall, but I won't let it. Not here. Not now. The sounds of brunch drift through the walls, crystal clinking, polite laughter, the rise and fall of conversation that flows so smoothly without me. I should confront them, storm back in, demand answers. Isn't that what people do in movies? Make a scene, force the truth into the open? But my hands move with quiet purpose, gathering the pristine packages from the trash. The roses, still wrapped in brown paper and twine. The perfume in its elegant box. The card, unread and heavy with cash. I place each item carefully in my leather tote, movements precise as an accountant reconciling books. The garage door whispers shut behind me. My heels click against concrete, each step carrying me further from the house that stopped being home long before today. The sound of my car unlocking echoes in the quiet street. I slide into the driver's seat, place my tote gently on the passenger side. No tearful confrontation. No dramatic exit. Just the soft purr of my engine and the growing distance in my rearview mirror. They won't notice I'm gone for at least 10 minutes. Maybe longer. They've had practice not seeing me. But something shifts inside my chest as I turn onto the main road. A weight lifts. Or maybe breaks. Years of trying to earn my place at a table that never had room for me crystallize into this single moment of clarity. Every check written. Every holiday navigated. Every careful word chosen to avoid rocking their perfect family boat. All of it thrown away like Sunday trash. The roses catch the light, still beautiful despite their rejection. I could take them home, arrange them in my own vase, keep the perfume, return the card. But that's not the point, is it? This isn't about the gifts. It's about years of being erased from my own family's story, one carefully orchestrated exclusion at a time. My phone buzzes in my purse. Once, twice, 3 times. Mom's special ringtone, the one I set years ago when I still believed missed calls meant she missed me. I let it ring. What would you do if you discovered your family had literally thrown your love away? For me, this wasn't just about discarded gifts, it was about years of being erased from my own story. But something was about to change. Something already had. The traffic light ahead turns red, and I stop. Breathe. Plan. They think I'm dispensable, a convenient resource with an open checkbook and a daughter's obligation to give without expecting anything in return. I check my rearview mirror. My eyes are dry, my hands steady on the wheel. They're about to learn how wrong they are. The light turns green. My apartment feels different tonight. The roses from Pike Place Market rest in their brown paper on my kitchen counter, pristine and perfect, waiting for a decision. The Chanel number. 5 box gleams under my living room lamp, its gold lettering catching the light. That red envelope sits between them, still sealed, still heavy with possibility, and $900 I'd withdrawn from the bank yesterday morning. I open my laptop, the familiar glow illuminating the space around me. A blank email page stares back, cursor blinking. Simple, professional, the way I handle everything these days. Subject: Mother's Day card. Just a heads up, I tucked $900 in cash inside the letter, thought it could help with Tessa's tuition. Hope it wasn't misplaced. Send. The memory hits without warning. Mom and me in our old kitchen, just us two, singing along to Madonna while making spaghetti. I was 12, gangly and uncertain, but her smile made everything okay. She twirled me around that tiny linoleum floor, pasta sauce bubbling on the stove. Who needs fancy restaurants? She'd laugh. We've got everything right here. Then Mark moved in. The everything shifted. First, it was small things. My school artwork disappeared from the fridge, replaced by his real estate awards. My bedroom became the guest room when his parents visited. Mom stopped singing in the kitchen. When Tessa arrived, the transformation was complete. The walls filled with professional family portraits, Mark, Mom, baby Tessa. The photographer asked me to hold the reflector. Just until we get the family shots, he said. Nobody corrected him. Opening my banking app, I stare at the recurring payments I've set up over the years. The utilities for their house power, water, internet, Tessa's tuition contributions. The professional association fees for Mark's real estate license. Tax preparation services I've provided for free, saving them thousands. My phone buzzes. 8 a.m., right on schedule. 3 voicemails from Mom. Marin, honey, there's been a terrible misunderstanding. A text from Mark. Hey kiddo, let's grab coffee this week, my treat. Tessa's message pops up last. Way to ruin Mother's Day, real mature. You need to see this. Rachel's text arrives like a lifeline. My best friend since college, the one who noticed things I tried to ignore. The lunch invitations that stopped, including me. The family vacations I learned about through Facebook photos. The Christmas I worked a double shift at the accounting firm while they opened presents without me. Your mother just posted about ungrateful children on Facebook, Rachel writes. Want to come over? I've got wine and zero judgment. Can't tonight, I reply, meeting with Susan. Susan, my therapist of 6 months, suggested I start keeping receipts. Not for revenge, she'd said. For clarity. The stack sits in my desk drawer, every check, every transfer, every professional favor that helped build Mark's client base. The next day at work, my colleague David stops by my office door. That recommendation you wrote for Mark's Century 21 application? The regional director called to verify some details. Tell him I'll need to revise my statement. My voice sounds steady, professional. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing. Mom's number flashing again and again, each call more urgent than the last. I open my banking app one more time. Click. Cancel automatic utility payments. Click. Withdraw from next semester's tuition contribution. Click. Remove Mark's professional membership fees. When I turn to meetings and clients, the working hours are long past, so I go home. The roses still wait on my counter at home that night. I should throw them away, a perfect mirror of this morning's discovery, but that's not who I am. Instead, I wrap them carefully and walk down the hall to Mrs. Chen's apartment. She lost her husband last month. These are beautiful, she says, touching a petal. But why aren't you keeping them? I think about the trash bag in Mom's garage, about 12-year-old me dancing in that cramped kitchen, about the family photos where I'm conspicuously absent. Because, I tell her, sometimes the kindest thing we can do is stop pretending. Back in my apartment, I open the red envelope at last. The bills inside feel crisp, like possibility, like freedom. I slip them back into my wallet, each one a small piece of myself I'm finally reclaiming. My phone buzzes again. Mom's voice fills my voicemail, shrill with panic. The utility company called. There must be some mistake with the payment. And Mark's broker needs that recommendation by tomorrow. Marin, you have to fix this. Fix this. Like I've fixed everything else. Their convenience masquerading as family obligation, their demands disguised as love. I pick up the Chanel number, 5, its familiar weight in my hands. Mom started wearing it the day she married Mark, replacing the drugstore perfume that smelled like our Sunday morning pancakes and midnight story times. The bottle finds a new home on my own vanity. A small decision, but it feels monumental, like the first brick removed from a wall I've spent years maintaining. Have you ever wondered what happens when you stop carrying someone else's life? I write in my journal, Susan's assignment for moments like these. I'm not seeking revenge, I'm simply reclaiming what has always been mine, my dignity, my resources, my peace. My phone lights up with another call. This time, I don't look to see who it is. In the kitchen, I pour myself a glass of wine. The evening light paints my apartment in shades of amber, the same color as Mom's eyes. Our eyes. The genetic reminder of a connection that used to mean everything. The family that had discarded me wasn't prepared for the aftermath of my absence. But that's not my burden anymore. They'll have to find their own solutions, their own strength, their own way to navigate the world without my constant corrections and contributions. I raise my glass to the empty room, to the woman who's finally learning that love shouldn't require constant payment plans, to the daughter who's done funding her own erasure. Tomorrow, they'll try again. Guilt trips and accusations, financial emergencies and family obligations, the familiar dance of manipulation dressed up as concern. But tonight, in this quiet space that's entirely my own, I discover that peace sounds like a phone set to silent, like the gentle rustle of $900 returning to my wallet, like the end of a sentence I've been trying to finish for years. Sometimes the most powerful word isn't sorry, it's goodbye. At the present, I came to their house to see what they are conspiring. The red notice on my mother's front door catches my eye from the street. Even at this distance, the bold letters spell out their warning. I grip my steering wheel tighter, resisting the urge to pull into the driveway. Mark's Lexus sits alone in front of the garage, a far cry from the usual weekend crowd of family cars. 3 weeks since I stopped paying their utility bills. 22 days since I withdrew my letter of recommendation that had secured Mark's biggest real estate contracts. 16 days since I canceled my monthly contribution to Tessa's tuition fund. My phone buzzes. Another message from Mom, the 20th today. I silence it without looking and go home. This was the first morning I woke up without checking her messages and felt like learning to breathe underwater. Strange, unnatural. Now each notification simply ripples past, leaving barely a wake in my consciousness. After I came back, my apartment feels different too. Bigger somehow, though nothing has changed but the silence. No more Sunday meal prep for family brunches I'm not really invited to. No more scanning real estate listings for Mark's clients. No more late-night calculations of how much I can spare for Tessa's textbooks. I flip open my journal, the leather soft beneath my fingers. Day 23 of reclaiming my life, I write. The words flow easier now, unlike the first entry where tear stains wrinkled the pages. Found another automatic payment to Mom's cell phone bill. Cancelled it. Amount saved this month, $2,876. 2 days later, the office lobby sparkles with morning light when she storms in. I spot her through the glass walls of my corner office, signature pearls glinting as she gestures at the receptionist. My mother's theatrical entrance draws every eye, exactly as intended. I need to see my daughter immediately, her voice carries across the floor. Marin Whitaker. I stand, smoothing my charcoal pencil skirt. My heels click against marble as I step into the hallway. Mom. Her eyes narrow at my calm tone. We need to talk. She grabs my arm, manicured nails pressing into my skin. Now. I don't move. We can speak in the visitor area. The reception area couches sink beneath us. Mom perches on the edge, her designer handbag clutched like a shield. You're humiliating this family. A junior accountant walks past, poorly concealing his interest. I wait until he disappears around the corner. How exactly am I doing that? Don't play innocent. Mark lost the Henderson contract because you pulled your recommendation. Tessa might have to defer next semester. There are notices on our door, Marin. Notices. I remember being 7, watching her count pennies for the electric bill. The same sharp tone, the same accusation in her eyes. But I'm not 7 anymore. Fix what you've broken, she hisses, before you ruin your sister's life. The words rise in my throat, calm and clear as spring water. Maybe this family should have stopped treating me like a stranger with a checkbook. Her face flushes. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done? The memory surfaces, 16, clutching a duffel bag of summer clothes. Mom's breezy voice explaining why I couldn't join the family vacation. We need to save money, honey. The Facebook photos posted a week later, all of them at the beach. Mark teaching Tessa to swim, Mom in a white sundress, her smile radiant. No empty space where I should have been. Christmas Eve, age 23, double shift at the accounting firm to afford Tessa's violin. Coming home at midnight to an empty apartment because they'd decided to open presents early. We didn't want to keep Tessa up late, Mom explained the next day, not meeting my eyes. My hands remain steady in my lap now, talking to her. I can recommend some excellent financial advisors. How dare you? She stands, her voice rising. I am your mother. And I'm your daughter. Or I was, until Mark offered you a better family package. Security arrives with professional discretion. Miss Whitaker, is everything all right? I nod. My mother was just leaving. She fights them with dignity, I'll give her that. No screaming, no scenes. Just that ramrod straight spine, chin held high as they escort her out. Her parting shot carries across the lobby. I hope you're satisfied with yourself. I return to my office. Linda from HR appears in my doorway. Everything okay? Yes. I pull up the transfer request I've been considering. Tacoma branch needs a senior accountant. Everything's fine. The application takes 10 minutes to complete. My cursor hovers over submit when an email notification pops up. Tessa. How could you do this to us? Mom's crying. Mark might lose the house, all because you're having some sort of midlife crisis. Real families don't abandon each other. Real families. Like the ones in the vacation photos I wasn't in. The holiday dinners where my chair stayed empty. The Mother's Day brunches where my gifts ended up in the trash. I hit submit. The Tacoma apartment costs less than half my Seattle mortgage. No space for family gatherings I'm not invited to. No guest room for relatives who never visit. Just a sunny kitchen with a window seat, perfect for Sunday mornings with coffee and paper, the kind of mornings I never allowed myself before. 4 weeks later, a small package arrives the day I move in. Inside, a delicate silver bracelet catches the light. The note reads, "To replace the one you gave your mother last Christmas. This time, keep it. You deserve nice things too. Linda from HR." I clasp it around my wrist, the metal warm against my pulse. In my journal, I write, Day 47, bought myself flowers today. They're staying right where they belong. The phone buzzes. Mom's number. I let it ring. And now at work, a week after I moved into my new apartment, my phone buzzes for the 20th time today. Mark's name flashes across the screen, his message preview dripping with manufactured concern. Your mother is devastated by your behavior. Delete. Another notification. Tessa this time. I might have to drop out because of what you did. Delete. The messages pile up like autumn leaves, carried on winds of manipulation. Mrs. Henderson from church wants me to know she's praying for our family's reconciliation. Dad's old colleague hopes I'll do the right thing. Even my mother's hairdresser called to remind me that family is forever. I set my phone face down on my desk, focusing instead on the spreadsheet before me. Numbers don't lie, numbers don't manipulate, numbers just are. Everything okay? Sarah from accounting peers over our shared cubicle wall, concern etching fine lines around her eyes. Your phone's been having a seizure all morning. Family stuff. I manage a small smile. Nothing urgent. But urgency floods my inbox that evening. Denise has taken to social media, sharing cryptic posts about ungrateful children and the pain of maternal sacrifice. Her friends rally in the comments, offering heart emojis and thinly veiled judgments. I create a new email filter, directing anything from family into a folder labeled Weekly Review. My therapist suggested this approach last session. You don't have to be available for manipulation 24/7, she'd said, tapping her pen against her notepad. Their emergencies are emergencies anymore. The silence that follows feels like coming up for air after years underwater. 2 weeks pass. I check the family folder during my scheduled therapy hour, 37 messages, each more desperate than the last. Mark's real estate listings have dried up since I withdrew my professional recommendations. Tessa's tuition payment is overdue. Mom's utility bills are piling up. You've destroyed this family, Mark writes. Is that what you wanted? No, I think, closing the folder. What I wanted was to belong. The whispers reach me through office grapevines. Mark tells anyone who'll listen that I sabotaged his career out of jealousy. Mom spreads rumors about my supposed financial troubles, painting herself as the concerned parent of a daughter spiraling out of control. Tessa posts TikToks about toxic siblings, each one a masterclass in victimhood. Their stories contradict each other like badly rehearsed lies. Join us for dinner? Sarah catches me in the break room, stirring cream into my coffee. A bunch of us are trying that new Thai place downtown. The invitation catches me off guard. When was the last time someone asked me to dinner just because they wanted my company? I go with them. Now, a week later, I host my first dinner party on a Wednesday night. Nothing fancy, just takeout and wine with Sarah and 2 other colleagues who've become friends. To new beginnings, Sarah raises her glass. The others join in, their smiles genuine, their laughter unforced. No one asks what I can do for them. No one measures my worth in dollars and cents. The first holiday hits like a test. Thanksgiving looms, traditionally a performance of family unity at Mom's perfectly set table. This year, my phone stays silent. No guilt-laden invitation. No reminder of my assigned dishes. No subtle hints about financial contributions. I wake up that Thursday morning without the familiar knot in my stomach. No need to rehearse neutral topics or prepare deflections for invasive questions. Instead, I pull on yoga pants and drive to Sarah's house, where a mismatched group of holiday orphans has gathered. Brought sweet potato casserole, I announce, setting down my dish. Fair warning, I tried my Aunt Caroline's recipe. The one who always saw through their bullshit? Sarah asks, taking the casserole. She's heard enough of my story by now to keep the players straight. The very same. I smile, remembering my last call with Aunt Caroline. You know what she told me? She said sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stop playing roles in other people's stories. The casserole turns out lumpy, but tastes like freedom. Later that night, sprawled on Sarah's couch with a glass of wine, I scroll through my mother's latest social media performance. Photos of a perfect family gathering, carefully framed to hide my absence. Tessa and Mark beaming for the camera, Mom's caption gushing about those who choose to be present. My thumb hovers over the block button. A text arrives from an unknown number. They're all scrambling to cover the bills you used to pay. Serves them right. I recognize my cousin Rachel's tone, but I don't respond. This isn't about revenge. It never was. The family message folder shrinks as winter deepens. Their stories shift from accusation to resignation. Mark lands a smaller real estate position. Tessa takes a semester off to find herself. Mom's social media posts turn philosophical, full of quotes about forgiveness and the burden of loving too much. I donate what I used to spend on them to a scholarship fund for first-generation college students. The tax receipt arrives in December, a different kind of family legacy. My therapist says healing isn't linear. Some days the guilt crashes back like a wave, threatening to drown the progress I've made. But now I recognize it for what it is, an echo of old programming, not a compass pointing true north. That's how weeks pass for me. One day in the cafe, "You've changed," Sarah observes over lunch, watching me decline yet another guilt-laden message without flinching. No, I meet her eyes, feeling the truth settle in my bones. I just stopped pretending I hadn't. At home that night, the last email I read from my mother ends with a question. Don't you miss your family? I close the laptop, listening to the sound of my own breathing in the quiet apartment. The city lights paint patterns on my walls, my furniture, my choices in the dark. Everything here speaks of presence, not absence, of growth, not loss. I think of the black trash bag in Mom's garage, of pristine gifts discarded without a second thought, of all the times I reached for love and found only obligation staring back. The answer comes easily now. You can't miss what you never really had. But here's what I do have. Friends who celebrate my successes, colleagues who value my voice, a home that welcomes me exactly as I am, a life built on respect instead of debt. Love freely given, not measured in dollars or duties. Some might call it lonely, this choice to walk away. They don't understand that loneliness and solitude wear different faces. One empties you out, the other fills you up. I'm learning the difference, one quiet morning at a time. The lock clicks behind me as I push through my apartment door, grocery bags rustling against my hip. 6 months of peace shattered by one familiar silhouette waiting in my living room. Mom sits perched on the edge of my couch, her designer handbag deflated beside her like a punctured balloon. Her fingers twist a tissue into confetti. The perfect French manicure I remember has grown out, showing strips of natural nail beneath. Security let me up. Her voice wavers. The doorman remembered me from Christmas. From 3 Christmases ago, she means. Before I stopped pretending I had a place at their table. I set my bags on the kitchen counter, each movement deliberate. Oranges roll free, bright spots of color against the granite. Would you like some water? Marin, please. The tissue shreds further. We need to talk about what happened. I fill a glass from the pitcher in my fridge. Ice cubes clink against glass as I set it on the coffee table between us. Not too close. Not an invitation to stay. I've been trying to reach you for months. Her voice cracks on months. Your sister had to take a semester off. Did you know that? She lost her spot in the honors program. The program I helped her apply for. The one she told her friends she got into purely on merit. Mark lost his position at the brokerage. Mom's fingers drum against her knee. A nervous tick I haven't seen since her single mother days. None of this would have happened if you hadn't reacted. I sink into the armchair across from her. Overreacted to finding my Mother's Day gifts in the trash? I was tidying up quickly before guests arrived. Things got mixed up. Mixed up. The words taste like copper on my tongue. Did you ever read the letter you threw away? Her eyes dart to her purse. Things were chaotic that morning. Mark's parents were coming, and... The letter you threw away without opening. My voice remained steady. The one that supposedly had $900 inside. We looked everywhere once we realized. She stops. Something shifts in her expression. What do you mean, supposedly? I lean back, letting the silence stretch between us. In my peripheral vision, a cardinal lands on my balcony railing. Its red feathers catch the afternoon light. There was no money in that envelope, Mom. She blinks. Once, twice, but your email said, I wanted to see if you'd suddenly find the gifts you'd thrown away. The cardinal tilts its head, studying its reflection in my window. The letter only contained what money can't buy. Love, forgiveness, hope that maybe this time would be different. The tissue in her hands disintegrates. You're lying. You're trying to make me look like someone who threw away her daughter's gifts without opening them? The cardinal takes flight. Or like someone who only came looking for those gifts when she thought there was cash inside. That's not fair. Her voice hardens. We're family. Family helps each other. Family. The word sits heavy in my mouth. Tell me, what was the last thing you gave me that wasn't a request for money or a reminder of my obligations? She stands, shoulders rigid. I gave you life. And I spent years trying to earn it. I rise, matching her height. The utilities I paid, Tessa's tuition, tax help for Mark's business, professional referrals. Was any of it enough to earn a place card at your table? You're being dramatic. It was a simple oversight. Simple enough to laugh when Tessa joked about me only showing up for tax write-offs. The memory still stings. Simple enough to throw away roses that hadn't even begun to wilt? Her hand clutches her purse strap. We've had differences, but you're still my daughter. Am I? I walk to my front door, each step measured. Or am I just the ATM you visit when other options run dry? Marin, please. Her voice cracks again. This time I recognize the sound. Not grief, but fear. The same tone she used with bill collectors years ago. We can work this out, maybe set up a regular schedule for... I open the door. I can recommend some financial counseling services. They offer sliding scale fees. You're really going to abandon your family? Over a misunderstanding? No, Mom. I meet her eyes. They're still the same shade as mine, but I no longer search them for approval. I'm just returning the favor you gave me that Sunday morning, the one you wrapped in a black trash bag. She pauses in the doorway, lips parted. For a moment, I see a flash of the young single mother who once taught me how to be strong. Then her jaw sets, and she's Denise again. Mark's wife. Tessa's mother, a stranger who shares my eyes. When you're ready to apologize, she says, you know where to find us. The door closes with a soft click. No dramatic slam, no tearful accusations, just the quiet sound of one chapter ending and another beginning. I walk to my balcony and open the glass door. The cardinal has returned, a twig in its beak, building something new. A breeze carries the scent of spring from the park below. Grass, earth, possibility. My phone buzzes. Mom's special ringtone, the one I set years ago when I still believed missed calls meant she missed me. I let it ring. Some things are better left unanswered. Some letters are more powerful empty than full. The cardinal takes flight again, twig still firmly in its grasp. I watch until it disappears behind the neighboring building, carrying its small piece of the future toward home. After a year, I will become even stronger, but I will not allow them to step on me ever again. A year later, I got promoted and bought my own house, small but mine. The Sunday morning sunlight streams through my kitchen windows, catching the rim of my coffee mug and the edges of freshly polished silverware. The scent of warm croissants mingles with brewing coffee, filling my new home with promise instead of pretense. Need help with those? Linda from accounting balances her mimosa while eyeing the pastry arrangement I'm perfecting. Her silver hair catches the light as she leans against my granite countertop, comfortable in a way I never was in my mother's kitchen. Just about done. I adjust a chocolate-filled croissant, though you could grab the fruit platter from the fridge. My home. The words still send a little thrill through me. Not just the modest craftsman with its honey-colored hardwood floors and built-in bookshelves, but what it represents. Every mortgage payment comes from my own account. Every paint color choice was mine alone. No one's approval required. The promotion to senior manager came with a salary bump that made it possible. When I told my boss I was house hunting, she didn't hesitate to write a glowing recommendation letter for the mortgage company. About time you invested in yourself instead of everyone else, she'd said, signing with a flourish. The doorbell chimes. Carol from my therapy group arrives with her signature peach cobbler, followed by James from the neighborhood book club clutching a well-loved copy of our latest read. Soon, my dining room hums with conversation and laughter. This beats the stuffiness of country club brunches any day. Linda declares, helping herself to seconds. Remember that awful Valentine's Day event where that woman kept correcting everyone's pronunciation of charcuterie? I laugh, the sound free and genuine. A year ago, I would have swallowed such comments, worried they might get back to my mother's social circle. Now, let them talk. My phone buzzes. A text from Tessa. I know it's Mother's Day. Just wanted to say I get it now. Moving into my own place opened my eyes to a lot of things. Hope you're doing well. No manipulation, no demands. Just recognition, arriving like an unexpected gift. I type back, thanks, Tess. Hope you're well too. Simple, kind, bounded. The scholarship fund notification pops up on my phone. My monthly contribution just cleared. Supporting students from challenging family situations felt right, a way to transform my experience into something meaningful without staying trapped in it. The foundation director had teared up when I explained why I wanted to focus on first-generation college students dealing with family pressure. Your story will help them feel less alone, she'd said. Between bites of cobbler, Carol mentions her daughter's struggle with boundary setting. She keeps saying yes to family obligations that drain her. I told her about your journey. Hope you don't mind? Not at all. I pour her more coffee. It took me years to realize that saying no to what depletes you means saying yes to what fulfills you. The afternoon light shifts, painting my walls in warm amber. My guests chat comfortably in the living room while I gather empty plates. The kitchen window frames my small but thriving garden, herbs, tomatoes, and my favorite, a rosebush bearing flowers the color of sunrise. Those are gorgeous, James says, joining me at the sink. Your mother's influence? Actually, no. I touch a petal on the roses I'd cut this morning for my table centerpiece. I used to buy her pink ones from Pike Place, but these? I smile. These are all mine. The crystal vase, a housewarming gift to myself, catches the light, sending rainbow refractions dancing across my walls. Such a simple thing, choosing flowers for my own joy rather than someone else's approval. Later, after the last guest leaves, I curl up in my reading nook with a cup of tea. Photos line my bookshelves, genuine moments with chosen family. My therapy journal rests nearby, its pages chronicling the journey from pain to purpose. The latest entry reads, "Some gardens only bloom once you stop forcing growth in barren soil." My phone lights up. Mother's Day messages flood social media, carefully curated family portraits, gushing tributes, performance art of perfect relationships. Last year, each post would have felt like a personal indictment. Now they scroll past like scenes from a movie I've outgrown. A fresh bouquet needs arranging. I select a sunny yellow vase this time. No more pink roses seeking approval. No more gifts wrapped in obligation. Just bright blooms celebrating this moment, this space, this piece hard-won through pruning what needed to go. These, I whisper, placing them in the center of my dining table, are staying right where they belong. The evening sun paints my walls gold. Somewhere across the city, my mother's house probably echoes with the familiar scripts of family gatherings. But here in my home, the silence rings with possibility. Some relationships have seasons, some chapters end, and sometimes that ending becomes the soil where new life takes root. I touch a flower petal, remembering the young accountant who once arranged pink roses with trembling hands, desperate to prove her worth. She deserved more than she knew. They all do. Every person measuring their value against impossible standards, sacrificing their truth to belong where they were never fully welcomed. My garden lights flicker on automatically, illuminating the rose bush outside. Tomorrow brings client meetings, numbers to reconcile, ordinary routines. But tonight? Tonight I sit with my tea, my choices, my peace, watching light play through crystal and knowing, to my bones, that I'm exactly where I should be. The roses catch the last ray of sun, glowing like promises kept. Not to others this time, to myself.